Welcome to Updates at Noon. I'm Brendan Lepore. The Foreign Ministry is discussing with the Singapore government a proposal to allow the borders between the two countries to allow Malaysians to travel from Johor to the Republic for work. Senior Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the Johor government, together with the State Health Department, had drafted the proposed Standard Operating Procedure SOP for scrutiny by the Health Ministry.
Mula-mula dia kena bersetuju dari segi SOP dulu. Because kalau dia setuju, Kementerian Luar akan bincang. Sebelum tu kita minta Kementerian Kesihatan berbincang dengan Kementerian Kesihatan di Singapura dari segi SOP tersebut. Dan lepas itu kalau dah ada persetujuan, barulah Kementerian Luar dengan Kementerian Luar akan berbincang dari segi kebenaran rentas negeri berulang-alik tu. Dan kalau boleh, dan kita pun dah minta supaya MKM mendapatkan lebih detail tentang pekerja kita yang berulang-alik tu. Selama ni tak tahu apakah mereka masih bekerja, telah diberhentikan ataupun masih bekerja tetapi tanpa gaji.
The senior minister said this when asked to comment on newspaper reports on some Malaysians being stranded in the Republic after the border closure due to COVID-19 prevented them from commuting between Singapore and Johor as they used to. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri announced that businesses and eateries in states under the Conditional Movement Control Order (CMCO) are now allowed to operate until midnight. He said the decision was made following concerns raised by many quarters. The senior minister said the new stipulated operating hours would also apply to convenience stores, sundry goods stores and petrol stations.
Mesyuarat bersetuju untuk membenarkan pembukaan restoran dan juga perniagaan-perniagaan lain sehingga pukul 12 seperti kedai serbanika, convenience store, petrol station, kedai runcit. Ada kedai runcit kat bandar-bandar kecil, ada kedai runcit yang biasanya orang bergantung untuk membeli barang, kita buka juga sampai pukul 12. Mana-mana aktiviti perniagaan kita buka sampai pukul 12, kita setuju. Okay? Bukan saja restoran tetapi yang lain.
The government had also allowed the driving training institutes in the country to operate during the CMCO period, providing they adhere to the SOP set by the Ministry of Transport at all times. The Health Ministry detected 4 new COVID-19 clusters yesterday involving Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, Perak and Johor. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said the 4 clusters, dubbed the Bintang Cluster, Indah Mas Cluster, Teja Kasih Cluster and Kobena Cluster, had recorded a total of 159 positive cases so far. He explained that the Bintang cluster involved workers at a construction site in Lembah Pantai, Kuala Lumpur, with the cases for this cluster were reported to be positive between 17th and the 23rd of November through targeted screening conducted in the area.
Sehingga 23 November, sejumlah 608 individu telah pun disaring, di mana 95 kes telah dikesan positif dalam kluster ini. Daripada jumlah ini, 94 kes merupakan bukan warga negara dan seorang warga negara.
As for Indah Mas cluster, Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham said it was detected in Titi Wangsa and Kepong districts in Kuala Lumpur as well as Petaling district in Selangor. He said the index case was reported positive through screening of a symptomatic individual on Saturday, with another 9 tested positive for the virus later on. Another cluster identified by the ministry is the Teja Kasih cluster in Kampar and Kinta districts in Perak, with the index case found to be positive via screening of a symptomatic individual on 16 November. A total of 130 individuals have been screened and 41 of them confirmed positive of COVID-19. As for the last cluster, the Kobena cluster, it was detected in Johor Bahru with 13 people tested positive in connection with this cluster. The Health Director General also said that there were 3 clusters which have officially ended, namely the Jambul, Surat and Hampa clusters. The Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry will not hesitate to list onions as a price control item if there is persistent shortages and the situation is urgent. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Alexander Nantaling, has said the ministry will continue to monitor the situation and conduct inspections at all levels, including suppliers, wholesalers and retailers, in order to address the issue. In a statement released, the minister explained that the price for shallots and onions were influenced by supply and demand, just like the other items that are being sold in the market. He said there has been a high demand for onions in India, which indirectly affects the supply of the vegetable to this country. He said that the Indian government previously issued a ban on export of almost all types of onions to meet their domestic needs following the floods in their country, and this has led to the increase of price for the respective item. However, Datuk Seri Alexander Nanta said Malaysia imports onions from various countries instead of relying on a single source to ensure there is enough supply in the local market. To a quick break, and when we come back, Green Travel Bubble Initiative to revive tourism sector. Under the Security Offences Special Measures Act SOSMA 2012, with committing sabotage on water services in Selangor. However, both of the accused are Nathan, age 42, and Lim Kian Ike, 42, pleaded not guilty after the charge was read out to them before Selayang Sessions Court Judge Mazia Johari Muhammad Tajuddin. They were charged with intentionally committing sabotage to disrupt water services in Selangor at number 32 Jalan Velox 2, Taman Velox, Rawang Gombak between the 2nd and the 10th of November. The charge was framed under Section 124K of the Penal Code, read together with Section 34 of the same code, which provides for life imprisonment if convicted. Both men were denied bail and the court set the 8th of January next year for mention. The two accused are also facing 5 other charges under the Environmental Quality Act 1974 and the Water Service Industry Act 2006. Previously, Nathan also pleaded not guilty before Magistrate Nick Muhammad Fadli Nick Azlan to a charge of conducting business activities at the same premise without a license issued by licensing authorities, with the case also set for mention on the 8th of January 2021. Meanwhile, in Kedah, 4 Indonesian contract workers were brought to the Sungai Petani Sessions Court for causing pollution in Sungai Muda on the 12th of November. However, no plea was recorded from the 4 men, Dedi Hardianto, 32, Bestian, 38, Andika Saputra, 32, and Ade Pitria, 33, as they did not understand the charge that was read out to them before Judge Azman Abu Hassan. According to the charge, they were alleged to have jointly committed mischief by causing a diminution in the supply of water by polluting Sungai Muda, which indirectly led to the closure of the water treatment plants at Jeniang Baru, Jeniang Lama and Sungai Pau, Gurun. They were charged under Section 430 of the Penal Code, which carries an imprisonment for up to 30 years or with fine or both if convicted. The court set the 22nd of December for mention and will arrange for an interpreter to read out the charge against them in the Indonesian language. The 4 men were allowed bail of 50,000 ringgit with a local surety each, but were ordered to surrender their passports and work permits to the court. Now, the police have crippled a motorcycle theft gang dubbed Gang Mat Top following the arrest of 5 men during a series of raids at Kota Tinggi and Ulu Tiram in Johor. According to Johor Bahru Selatan Police Chief ACP Muhammad Fazli Muhammad Zain, the suspects, all aged between 25 and 35, were believed to be involved in the syndicate, which had been active in the state for about 6 months. He said that their modus operandi was to steal motorcycles or cars before dismantling them for parts to be sold as accessories. 3 of the suspects have previous criminal records involving drugs and crime. The police also seized 4 vehicles worth 30,000 ringgit during the operation, and all 5 men are currently under remand until the 26th of November, and the case is investigated under Section 379A of the Penal Code for theft of a motor vehicle. The Ministry of Communications and Multimedia will be putting in more efforts in developing a digitally skilled community to be digital native and interact digitally. According to its Minister, Dato' Saifuddin Abdullah, the Ministry plays a vital role in building the digital community ecosystem by accelerating and assisting migration to the digital world, especially for those who have not ventured into it. In a post on his Facebook account, the minister said KKMM will boost local talents and further enhance the Smart Society program among the grassroots community, apart from making them aware of this information and cybersecurity. He said that the use of 1,101 community internet centers, PIK, throughout the country will also be optimized. Dato' Saifuddin added that the ministry will embrace the role of its agencies, including the Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, and Cybersecurity Malaysia, CSM, to develop the local community in harmony with the digital community. Local tourists in the country will be able to enjoy some 44,000 hotel rooms with various packages, including voucher rebates, cash and discounts through a tourism promotion campaign. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri said the campaign, conducted through collaboration with the airlines and a few hotels associations, is part of efforts to revive the tourism industry, which has been affected badly by COVID-19. The minister said the campaign would begin next month until February next year and would encourage the use of digital technology through reservations and purchases on the e-market platforms.
Sebanyak RM250,000 akan diperuntukkan sebagai insentif bagi 12,500 pengguna pertama yang telah melakukan pembelian pakej penginapan 3 hari 2 malam dan sempurnakan pembayaran akan menikmati e-voucher tunai sebanyak RM20 yang boleh digunakan untuk pembelian barangan lain.
In regards to Cuti Malaysia campaign with airlines, some 39,000 passengers will be offered with discounts of up to RM100 for economy and business class flights. Datuk Sri Nancy said this at a special press conference on the status of domestic travel bubble at the National Academy of Arts, Culture and Heritage in Kuala Lumpur. Proposal to allow Johor-Singapore commute under discussion. Do join us on News at 10 this evening on my Free Views Berita RTM news channel. I'm Brendan Lipol. Thanks for watching.